coming. We'll start back Thursday's game. There's a couple things that was you know, I thought we made some improvements. I thought, you know, again, I thought we made some improvements on the defense side of the ball. I thought, again, even offensively, we outgained them by yardage. We just didn't put the ball in the end zone, the red zone. You know, there were several scoring opportunities we had that we walked away with nothing. And then some critical errors down the stretch. I mean, we go in at 7-0, which actually shouldn't have been 7-0. We blow a coverage and don't get a guy. They hurry up on the ball. We don't get them covered down. They get, you know, a quick strike there, gets them down the goal line for a touchdown. But 7-0 at the half, we feel pretty good. Really liked the way our attitude was at the time. It was the first time we like to say is that I thought we went in the game as the game progressed. We're able to make adjustments on the sidelines. We're able to talk to our guys. The attitude's right. They're saying the right things. They're doing the right things. You know, at 7-0 at halftime, we come back out and really felt early in the third quarter we controlled it. We were controlling the tempo of the ball game. We get a quick stop, punt down. We take the ball back down the field. You know, we miss a field goal. Then we stop them again and we rough the punt. And now again, that allows them to keep the football. They go for a 12-play drive there, just ate up the clock. Again, I said going in the fourth quarter, still 7-0 ball game. You know, they get the field goal at 10 to go 10-0, and again, then there's some mistakes on third down that kept them on the field. There's some mistakes on our third down, didn't continue drives. We had a couple strikes there. We probably dropped the touchdown pass, and then there's two other strikes we had. We had 7 points on the board if we could protect Nathan. We've got to be able to run the football, and we've got to be able to protect our quarterback. He took 15 shots in that ball game. That's way too many times. He was under a lot of pressure throughout the game. Even I'm gonna say to credit him, I think the pick he threw was not his fault. We have a misrun route, and draws the guy into his own coverage. It's not even supposed to be there. And if we do it correctly, then that interception doesn't occur. So I think he's playing well, but we've got to. We've got to be able to run the football at least enough effectively for them to respect it. Right now, we don't get respect on that, and the lack of it is mostly, again, I know I'm preaching this, but it's the same thing I preach to kids. It's execution. It's getting a hat on hat, and blocking the guys you're supposed to block, and quit making mistakes. We knew that. I mean, again, early in the season, we thought it was important that we would be able to run the football to give our young receivers a chance to mature. We haven't been able to run the football, so therefore we haven't really given our young receivers a chance to mature. And somewhere along the line, those things have got to occur. Because it's very hard to score in the red zone when you can't run the football. Those zones start getting constricted, and the zones start getting tighter, and especially when he's under a lot of pressure. They'll put their ears back and come get you with not really respecting the run. The pressure blitzes they're bringing, sometimes not even run sound, but they're not having to respect our run game because of lack of execution in it. So. But I think we made improvements on the offense side of the ball. I think we made a lot of improvements on the defense side of the ball. I was pleased with the fact that we turned the ball over. We give them the ball down there inside the red zone twice, and our defense answers the call. They stepped to the plate. They did that, came out there with no points. Those are huge. I thought we just kind of got wore down there. Late goes in the fourth quarter. But I thought there was improvements there. I thought there was improvements on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously not the way we want them, but we had opportunities to win the game, bottom line, and there was some critical errors that cost us the ball game. And we've got to eliminate those, and we've got to take care of the football at critical times, and we've got to be able to execute and take advantage of people when they make mistakes. Any questions about that? Thursday night's game?
Just curious, 7-0, and you're in it, and
yeah.
Then, it looks like then you have the roughing the punter.
Yep.
What was the oh, here we go again factor this time to that?
That was the best thing. That's why I said, well, I think we made some huge strides on the sidelines. I don't think at any time when that happened was here we go again factor. That was not. I didn't see the air come out. I heard the right things. Let's get off the field. Press. There's plenty of time. Keep playing hard. We're playing physical. Made some mistakes. We just continue to make some mistakes there, though. But that part of it, like I said, the huge part for me was, and we spent a lot of that after the South Dakota game, because it's the first time we get in a game and then we kind of fall apart. So we talked a lot about how to respond to those things and the attitude and all those things. And it was the first game we get in together that I think in the second half, our guys, we believed in the third quarter we were going to win the ball game. We responded and we were acting and we were handling our business the way I wanted to. It wasn't the bickering on the sidelines, the fighting, the crying about things that had happened and mistakes and officials this and officials that. All the things that you can't control. That wasn't there. So I was real encouraged by that. So there's several positives we can pull away from that. The biggest one again is the better thing we've got to work on is just you got to execute. You got to recognize those opportunities to clinch a ball game.
With Caleb Reeves, you had him in your 2 games here. He's got double-digit tackles. What is he doing that's putting him where he needs to be when he plays?
Again, a lot of the nature of design, a lot of the defense, the Mike Becker's going to be a high tackle guy. I think again, we're starting to get better up front about knowing where to fit and doing those things, keeping double teams off the backers and those type of things. We've got to do a better job of it. But like I said before, I think he's a good. I think we got some really good linebackers. I think we've got some players in there, but we got to make sure everything else is fit right so they can make the plays. So, but I thought I thought he played well. There's a couple plays he should have. I think he played a lot better, and we're going to need him to. So.
You mentioned the players coming out of the half and still feeling like they get pulled out of the win.
Yep.
How's the attitude now after no restart with in the locker room with the players?
I think it's really good. I do. I think we came in, we watched the film. They see the mistakes. I think there's a little frustration. I think there's some frustration there that that maybe we thought it was going to be. I don't know. Maybe we thought it was going to be easier than this. But I thought last week was our best week of practice. I thought it showed. But I thought we played just like we practiced. We made those mistakes in practice. We're trying to get them corrected. But it's a consistency factor, doing it over and over. But I think the attitude's good. Our work ethic's been great. Our kids they're busting their tail. They're doing. I think they're trying. I don't think that's a problem, and that's a positive. As long as we do that, as long as we don't point the finger at each other, as long as we don't, if we can continue to get better, then we can turn this thing.
Coach Robert, as a coach, how do you address the frustration level so that it doesn't lead to undisciplinary mistakes on the field, missed assignments and stuff like that? How do you address the frustration?
Well, again, I think just the way we coach is we've had the disciplinary mistakes the first couple of ball games. I said hopefully we got rid of some of that. There were still a couple. There was 2 or 3 of those in the game that are uncalled for. We can't do. I don't mind just going to talk about the penalties. If it's aggressive penalty, and I said aggressive penalties, a kid, sometimes a pass interference, sometimes aggressive penalty. I make the play on ball, or sometimes I got to do it because he may have me beat, and I make the play. That I can handle those. It's the unsportsmanlike, and not so much. Sometimes the quarterback just throws the ball and you hit it, and it's aggressive. It's close. Those are aggressive penalties, but it's what you don't want to be called for is hitting a guy 3 yards out of bounds. You want to be called for unsportsmanlike, throwing a punch, doing things after the whistle, pushing guys in the back after a whistle, things like that. That's ridiculous. That's not part of the game, and those things. But I don't think that right now. I think our guys are in the right mindset. I think they see how close we are, and that's kind of we're kind of teetering on this thing. It's okay, we're 0-3, but they can see it. All the plays that were left on. The eye in the sky doesn't lie. You flip on the camera and say, look, if you get this block, this thing goes for 25. And they're frustrated with that. They realize, God, if we can keep him off an eighth and you see him, boom, the guy, he's wide open and he's 5 yards behind the DB. But he can't. By the time he flips around, he's getting sacked. And he can't get a chance to get to the read. So they're seeing those things on film, as the plays that we left off the table, and plays that were obviously opportunities we had to score. You know, so I think with that, there's still a lot of optimism that we don't know how. Right now, there's no telling how good we are because we're not executing things. It's not a chance to really to have ability, and let's see if the ability is the question. We haven't got to that point yet.
Ability isn't really a question for this McNeese team. This looks like a vintage McNeese team.
Yeah, I think they're very good. I do. I think they're very solid across the board. They're very older group. You can go line. 4 out of 5 are seniors. 2-3 year lettermen. You go to defense, very solid unit across the board. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They're physical. They're rushing for 300 yards a game. McNeese has already had they got a tradition of being at the top, and they're obviously this year they're one of the better teams in the country. They're one of the better top tier of this program and in our conference. Great football team. Really, I'm been impressed with them on film.
How do you compare their offensive line with the South Dakota State offensive line?
I think they're a little bigger, probably a little more physical. Yeah.
That can't be encouraging.
No, but like I said, to us, I thought UT Martin's offensive line was better. We did a better job against the run there than we did the week before. A lot of South Dakota was knocking us off the football as much as it was guys not being where I'm supposed to be. I mean, we've got to understand gap integrity, and then you got to do it every snap. If I've got the B gap, then you got to stay in the B. I can't slide my head over here, try to do somebody else's job, and then they're running through they're running through it. It's really not that difficult. I don't think run defense is difficult. Everybody's got a gap. You take your gap, guess what? They got to physically whoop you to get positive yardage. It's pretty simple. But the undisciplined player, sometimes they're going to struggle with that. Discipline. I said this on the Southland Conference thing, is that running the football and stopping the run are signs of disciplined football teams. That's how they are. You can't be an undisciplined team and stop the run. It ain't going to happen. And you can't be an undisciplined football team and run the football, because you've got to get a hat on a hat. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and if you're not going to have success doing it. So I think that's kind of where we are right now. I think and it's plain discipline. A lot of people some people use that term where they don't know what discipline is. Doing what you're coached to do. That's discipline. So we mistakenly say undisciplined. Does that mean we got a bunch of thugs? No, we don't. We got a bunch of great young men. Well, as far as being a disciplined team, no, we're not. I mean, I said that to our staff this morning. I flip on the film and I look at it. This is not a defense I recognize, and this is not an offense I recognize. This is not a team. We're not just that we're not having success. It means we're not running it the way it's supposed to be ran. It doesn't look to me. We call defenses up there, and I look at them. Well, what defense is that? Because we're not running it right. What play is this? We're not running that right either. So until we get to the point where we can actually recognize some things, then we do a lot better job, obviously, of manipulating formations and taking advantage of things that the other team does. But the first part right now is we're struggling with, which I think any team that doesn't win, it's usually the case. It's pretty simple. Fixing it is a little more difficult.
Do you think the discipline issue is players just getting used to the new schemes you brought in, or is it something more on a personal level with the player doing their own thing?
I think I think a lot of it is it's personal. Players doing their own thing and not understanding how vital their job is. Just like in society, there's a lot of people that don't understand if you're running the press, but guess what? If the person that's printing your document isn't going, it doesn't show up to work on time. The guy that's supposed to load the paper doesn't do his job. It all backs up. Then the person that's supposed to deliver that paper, the delivery man sleeps in, and they're complaining why they're not getting their paper on time. And hey, is it your fault? Well, no, it's somewhere in the system. There's problems, and just like that, we put them 11 together. There's that guy that they don't understand how vital there was, and then when they do make the mistake, and it could have been 25 yards, we're not able, like I said, we're not able to take advantage of somebody when they get out of their gap. Why? Because we didn't block this guy over here, so he gets to cover the mistake for this other guy. Taking advantage of people. In order to take advantage of people, you got to execute. You got to do things right. And when they make a mistake, you got to be able to make them pay the price for it. We had an opportunity. There's a game, perfect example. We've got a sack on, but we lose contain. We're scot-free. We're on a twist game up front against UT Martin. We're on a twist game. This is the right after the field goal. Roughing the punter. We have the sack on, but the guy doesn't get contained. So where does the quarterback go? Out the gate, scrambles for a first down. It's third down. We have the game on. We called it right. The guy comes scot clean, but this guy over here is not doing his job. So what? This guy doesn't get the sack that he should have got. And they don't understand how vital it is in the game of football. It can be 5-6 plays can be really big in a game, and you don't know when they're going to occur. So, and a lot of that goes with that's part of losing. Until we understand that, how vital their job is, how important it is, then that paper's going to get delivered late.
Looking at McNeese offensively, fairly balanced. We kind of know what they're going to do, but what do you see in there?
Oh, I think he's going to come in here and try to shove the ball right down our throats. If you look at the matchup on there, they're big, physical. Nobody stopped them yet running the football. I think his intention is to come in here and try to treat us like a little brother, and beat us down. And when he gets the opportunity, he's going to throw it over the top and try to get a cheap 6. That's what I would do. If I was him, that's exactly what I would do. I would come down and I'm gonna physically mash you up front, and then when I want, I'm gonna throw it deep. And if I have success, I'm gonna open the playbook and I'm gonna run some gadgets, some tricks, and I'm gonna have a little fun with it. And that's what I foresee him doing. If we don't stop that, if we don't stop the run, if we don't get disciplined, get a guy in a gap, and do those things and make them earn it, then we'll have problems. But it's going to be the same thing the next week. We got to understand that's part of the game. We've got to get to the point where we can trust it. Like I said, I've said along. I don't think our question right now is not about talent. The question is about whether we can execute. I've said that to our staff. That's why I don't want to go on, ramble, but. I don't want our staff to don't be complaining about talent. What are you saying? You're saying we can't win unless we've got talent. We don't have more talent than somebody else. We can't win. That's a cop out. I would just make sure, and I don't think our guys don't feel that way at all. So I just want to make sure as a staff we understand. So we got to get some things corrected. We got to change some things, either how we're teaching, how we're getting across, whatever else. We got to look at all the obstacles. I know it's been successful for us in the past, but obviously it's not getting through. We're 3 weeks in and we have not made obviously the improvement that I would like to have made. So we got to, like I said, we're code red situation, it's emergency time. We got to get strapped up and get some things better.